and he has very good skills. He's one of my favorite boxers. He able to win this fight.
Dimity Bivol backs Terence Crawford's chances against Canelo Alvarez, but warns size alone won't win the fight.
But there is a lot of but, and even not but, there is a lot of things, small things, which we don't know how he will deal with this.
Dimity Bivol, one of the few fighters to defeat Canelo Alvarez, believes Terence Crawford has a real chance to pull off an upset. Bivol knows firsthand what it takes to beat Canelo, having outclassed him at 175 pounds in 2022 with a disciplined approach. While he sees Crawford as a fighter with similar traits, he also recognizes the massive challenge ahead. Jumping up 2 weight divisions is never easy, and facing someone as experienced and physically dominant as Canelo makes it even tougher.
First reaction, of course, it was about size of Crawford. Is it okay for him to move up for 2 weight classes? Yeah, and he has very good skill. He able to win this fight, but there is a lot of but, and even not but, there is a lot of things, small things, which we don't know how he will deal with this. He need to get used to the power and pressure of 168. Maybe he will get used to it, and how he will be feeling himself on the same day when he will fighting, how his training camp will go on, a lot of things. But he's able, he has good skills, he's awkward, he can use 2 boxing stance. It gives him benefits, of course.
Bivol was recently around Crawford and was surprised at how big he looked in person. While that might be a good sign for those hoping he can handle the jump in weight, size alone doesn't win fights. It's one thing to look like a super middleweight, it's another to perform like one. The punches hit harder, opponents can absorb more damage, and Canelo isn't the type to leave many openings for mistakes. Even though Crawford has thrived at lower weights, 168 pounds is a completely different world, and Bivol knows that better than most. He said, "It's not only about getting used to the power, it's also about being mentally ready, because when people are not prepared mentally, they are afraid or scared. You become weak, your body become weak. When something new happens and you weren't ready for it, we all know this feeling. The body melts, it becomes soft. Mentality is very important for this fight." Even with the size difference, Bivol believes Crawford's skill set gives him a legitimate chance. He sees Crawford's versatility as a major advantage, particularly his ability to switch stances, which could make it harder for Canelo to time him. Crawford also has an awkward and unpredictable style, which might pose problems for Canelo, who prefers opponents that fight in a more traditional manner. However, Bivol knows that skill alone won't be enough. How Crawford adapts to the weight and handles Canelo's pressure will be the deciding factors in this fight.
Who do you think has more power out of the 2?
Canelo, of course, he got used to this weight class more than Crawford. He needs to get used to this power, even he's big.
So how does Canelo beat Crawford? Do you think that's a stoppage?
He could beat him, he could stop him. It could happen anyhow, you know, from both of the sides. And Canelo, of course, will try to find some hard punch.
Moreover, Crawford is already convinced of his greatness, but a victory over Canelo would push him into rare territory. He believes this fight is not just about proving people wrong, but about proving himself right. In his mind, it's not a question of if he wins, it's just a matter of when. He's fully confident that he has the skills, intelligence, and toughness to make history. Before the highly anticipated showdown with Crawford can happen, Canelo has to take care of business against William Skull on May 3rd. Most see that fight as a formality, but in boxing, surprises are always possible. If everything goes as expected, the stage will be set for one of the most intriguing fights in recent memory.
Amazing. Like, they always say you never see a great small guy beat a great big guy. and I want to change that narrative.
Canelo has been at this weight class for years, dominating opponents and proving his strength. Crawford knows exactly what he's up against, a bigger, stronger, and more experienced fighter at this level. But that's what excites him. He thrives on doubters and the idea that he can be the exception to boxing's oldest rule: the bigger man usually wins. If he can defy the odds, it would be one of the greatest achievements the sport has ever seen. But as much as skill and strategy matter, size cannot be ignored. This is the biggest weight jump Crawford has ever attempted, and history hasn't been kind to fighters making such drastic moves. The last time Canelo faced someone jumping up in weight, it wasn't competitive. Charlo struggled to engage, spent most of the fight on the back foot, and never looked like a real threat. However, Crawford isn't Charlo. While some critics believe this jump is too much, Crawford sees it as an opportunity to prove his greatness once and for all.
You know, like I said, if the opportunity presents itself, and you know, it's a great opportunity for me in my career, then you know, we will do what we have to do to make that fight with the winner, if there was a winner or if there wasn't a winner. But right now, like I said, we just focus on one individual right now, and that's Canelo.
One factor that could play in Crawford's favor is that Canelo hasn't been knocking opponents out like he used to. His last stoppage win came in 2021, and since then, he's been racking up decision victories. He's still winning convincingly, but the dominant highlight reel moments have been missing. Some believe he's lost a step, while others think he's simply been playing it safe. Crawford, however, expects the best version of Canelo to show up on fight night. He knows that if Canelo doesn't bring his A game, he could be in trouble.
Yeah, he just, you know, really too much didn't want to hurt the kid. I think with Berlanga, you know, it was what it was. You know, he showed a dominant performance against Berlanga, and he just felt like he didn't have to do too much of nothing, you know. And so with Charlo was moving a lot, you know. He won every round, so he really didn't feel the need to go in there and try to just maul him down. But I think, you know, with me, he's gonna be the best Canelo that we've seen yet.
The debate surrounding Terence Crawford's potential jump to 168 pounds to face Canelo Alvarez has sparked intense discussion among fighters, trainers, and analysts. While Crawford's skill and boxing IQ are undeniable, many question whether he can overcome the physical advantages Canelo possesses. Some believe his speed, movement, and strategy could give him an edge, while others argue that the size and power disparity will be too much for him to handle. Ryan Garcia is among those who doubt Crawford's ability to succeed at super middleweight. He believes that Canelo's experience at 168 pounds and his mastery of his fighting style will be overwhelming. Garcia pointed to Crawford's recent performance against Israil Madrimov at 154 pounds, where he didn't look dominant, as a sign that moving up in weight might be a mistake. If Crawford struggled to impose himself at junior middleweight, it raises concerns about how he will fare against a natural super middleweight like Canelo.
How does he fare against Canelo?
He can't beat Canelo. Nah, no way. I mean, I don't see him beating Canelo. He didn't even look that strong against Madrimov, to be honest. And Madrimov's not even a big.
Yeah, different style though. Madrimov has a jerky
different
side
style,
of
yeah,
time.
but
In and out, count him, punching.
Yeah, hard to
It's a
time.
little-
the thing with Canelo is he's mastered his style. And he ain't gonna change it up, but he's mastered it. Like, he understands what's going on in the ring at all times. I just don't see Terence beating him. I don't.
Juan Manuel Marquez has expressed similar doubts. He noted that while Crawford is an elite talent, there's a reason weight classes exist. He emphasized that Canelo has faced bigger men and handled their power, so if Crawford can't make him respect his punches, he could be in for a long night.
I don't like the fight because Terence Crawford is a good fighter, but in the sport of boxing, it has divisions. You know what I mean? You know?
Right, weight classes.
You know what?
Right?
Yeah, weight classes
for a reason.
Weight classes for and Terence Crawford is a good fighter in super lightweight, welterweight, super welterweight, but I think more. I remember when Terence Crawford fought with Madrimov.
Yes.
He looks slow. He looks with no power. And three more divisions, two more divisions. I think it's a top fight for Terence Crawford, but Terence Crawford is a great fighter. He has a great defense. He has a good combination punches. But I think the weight class is no good for him.
Not everyone believes size will be the deciding factor. Ronnie Shields, a highly respected trainer, argues that Crawford's boxing IQ and skill set will allow him to navigate the weight jump effectively. Shields acknowledges that Canelo is physically bigger, but he believes the real key to victory lies in intelligence and movement. Unlike Canelo, who has to cut weight to make 168, Crawford won't have to drain himself, meaning he could enter the ring at full strength and perform at his best. Shields also argues that the size difference is being exaggerated. While Canelo may walk around at nearly 190 pounds, Crawford reportedly walks around the 180-pound mark. This means the weight disparity on fight night may not be as dramatic as some expect.
Terrence Crawford is one of the smartest fighters I've ever seen. Very smart, always in shape, you know. And he can figure out anybody. And it don't make no difference if it's two weight classes or not. If you have it here, and you have the skills to match this, that's tough to do, no matter who you are.
Shields compared this potential fight to Floyd Mayweather's bout against Canelo in 2013. At that time, Canelo was also the bigger, stronger fighter, yet Mayweather was able to dominate him with movement, speed, and precision. Shields believes Crawford could implement a similar strategy, using footwork to keep Canelo off balance and prevent him from settling into a rhythm. Mayweather's success in forcing Canelo to reset constantly played a crucial role in his victory, and Crawford, who is an excellent switch hitter with great lateral movement, could look to replicate that game plan.
Canelo probably walks around 190, maybe, or a little bit less, but Crawford probably walks around 180, you know? So 168 is not gonna be a problem for him, you know? And people keep saying, oh, but the weight difference. No, it ain't that. Crawford don't have to kill himself to get to 68, Canelo does.
The question of whether Crawford can handle Canelo's power remains a key factor in the debate. Adonis Wilkins is concerned that the added weight might slow Crawford down and take away some of his strengths. He pointed out that when Canelo fought Caleb Plant, Plant was competitive in the early rounds, but faded as the fight progressed. Wilkins predicts a similar outcome for Crawford, arguing that while he may find success in the early going, the physicality of the fight will wear him down by the later rounds. If Crawford's power doesn't translate to 168, Canelo could walk him down and eventually overwhelm him.
No, it's gonna be at 68.
That's a bad look for Crawford. I love Crawford, dog. I think he's real talented, but we see him at 154 going up in weight class, and he kind of struggled. He didn't struggle, but that weight was definitely a difference. To go up another 2 weight classes after that, we're gonna see a lot slower Terrence Crawford. Yeah, his boxing ability is there, but Crawford don't hit like Canelo. Canelo's coming down for that fight. It's gonna be rough. So I'm going to give it to Canelo. Love Crawford, but I'm going to give it to Canelo.
Jim Lampley has also voiced skepticism about Crawford's chances, questioning whether he can deal with Canelo's size and strength. Lampley pointed to Crawford's fight against Madrimov as evidence that moving up in weight isn't always smooth. While Lampley acknowledges Crawford's skill level, he insists that weight classes exist for a reason. Crawford may have an advantage in speed and movement, but if he can't hurt Canelo or keep him from pressing forward, it could be a long night for him. Lampley also noted that Canelo is extremely comfortable at super middleweight, having dominated top fighters in the division. If Crawford struggles to impose himself physically, he might not be able to prevent Canelo from dictating the pace.
What do you think about the fight now that you just witnessed Canelo Alvarez again in the masterclass performance?
I love Terrence Crawford, and I want him to have what he wants. But off of what I saw tonight and what I saw in Los Angeles last month when Crawford was fighting Madrimov, I am more than ever concerned that he's not big enough. And not big enough to be able to move around the ring and muscle Canelo in the way that he would have to ward off those really vicious inside power shots. I might have thought a few months ago that I would give Crawford a logical chance to win the fight.
Joel Diaz is even more direct in his assessment, strongly dismissing the idea that Crawford could defeat Canelo. He called those who believe Crawford can win stupid, emphasizing that the size difference is simply too great. While Diaz respects Crawford's skills, he believes that jumping from 147 to 168 pounds is an extreme move that will negatively impact his performance. He argued that Crawford does not have the durability of a natural super middleweight and that Canelo's power will be too much for him to handle. Diaz believes that no matter how talented Crawford is, the sheer physicality of Canelo will be too overwhelming.
A lot of people that say that Crawford can beat Canelo, no problem. I mean, I respect that, but I just think they're stupid. I mean, excuse my language. The size difference of a bigger man changes everything with one punch. And I can see the same thing. I mean, you saw Canelo Alvarez fighting Amir Khan. Now, look at this. Terence Crawford moved from 47 to 54 to fight Madrimov. What did he do to Madrimov? Nothing. Okay, Madrimov was a 54-pounder. Now, to move up to 168, that's 2 more divisions. Canelo Alvarez will take any punch from Crawford, but I don't think Crawford will take any punches from Canelo. Remember, Canelo got hit by Triple G, the heaviest hitter in that division. And Canelo took those shots like a champ. I don't think Crawford has anything to beat Canelo.
Danny Garcia sees the fight as a compelling matchup, but ultimately leans toward Canelo due to his experience at super middleweight. He respects Crawford's abilities, but believes that Canelo's power and physical presence at 168 pounds make him a dangerous opponent for anyone. While Garcia expects the fight to be competitive, he believes Canelo's familiarity with the weight class will give him the edge in the later rounds.
At the end of the day, they're 2 great pound-for-pound fighters, and if they feel like, you know, it makes sense and they want to fight each other, stylistically, it's a great fight. But, you know, Canelo, he's a big dude. And I think it'd be hard for anyone to beat him at 168. But, you know, it's definitely a big money fight, and that's why we're all in boxing.
Amir Khan, who has fought both men, believes that while Crawford is an exceptional fighter, the challenge of stepping up to super middleweight is a massive one. Khan pointed out that Canelo has improved significantly since their fight and remains a dominant force in the division. Some critics argue that Canelo is past his prime, but Khan disagrees, saying that the Mexican fighter is still an elite competitor capable of handling top-level opposition. He believes that while Crawford is highly skilled, he will struggle with Canelo's physicality and power at 168.
Well, remember, like, Crawford then is a big boy as well. Crawford's a big guy when it comes to a box fight. Yeah.
What do you think?
I think Crawford, in my opinion, but size might matter. But then again, I think since when I fought Canelo's become a better boxer. He started boxing more better. You know what I mean? Technical more. Especially against the last fight against Mangui. He boxed really well as well, and he's looking really good. He's still, a lot of people might say, oh, he's getting old, this, that, another, but no, Canelo's still a beast.
John Porter sees some potential advantages for Crawford, particularly in height and reach, which could allow him to control certain aspects of the fight. However, Porter ultimately believes that Canelo's experience will be the deciding factor. He sees this fight as a true test of both fighters' skills and strategy, but he remains convinced that Canelo's power and ability to fight at super middleweight will give him the upper hand. Porter believes that while Crawford might find success early, the weight difference and physical toll of the fight will favor Canelo as the rounds progress.
Another big weight discrepancy. What do you think of that? Does the weight play a factor there?
I just said it, you know? And Terence is already taller than him, you know, has the reach, you know? I'm telling y'all, that's a 50-50 fight.
Okay.
That's a 50-50 fight. It's actually perfect timing for both guys.
Yeah.
Canelo Alvarez is losing big name fighters to fight against. There's really no one else with a big name for him to fight against. Yeah. Benavidez deserves that fight.
Jose Benavidez Jr. believes that many people are underestimating Crawford's chances. While he acknowledges Canelo's size and strength, he argues that Crawford's strategic thinking and adaptability could allow him to pull off an upset. He points out that Crawford has an uncanny ability to switch stances and adjust his game plan mid-fight, which could be a crucial advantage against Canelo. According to him, Crawford isn't the type of fighter to enter a bout without a carefully crafted plan, and he's confident that Crawford will come prepared with a strategy to exploit Canelo's weaknesses.
A lot of people are counting Crawford out. Crawford's a he's smart, he knows what he's doing. Canelo, you know, I mean, he's not that big of a guy. He obviously weighs more, but I mean, you can't take nothing from Crawford. He goes in there to win. So I mean, I feel like it'd be a good fight. You know, it sucks that my brother didn't get the opportunity, but I mean, only Canelo knows why it didn't happen. And you just gotta keep moving forward, you know. Gotta keep moving forward, but it's gonna be a good fight to watch. I got Crawford on this one. The thing with him, he adjusts. He's a smart motherfucker. He adjusts. He he's not only does he switch from from southpaw to orthodox, but he's just a smart. He has a high IQ in boxing, and that's what I feel like. All these fighters that go in there to fight Canelo, they already go in there scared, is what I believe, that which already beats him, So Crawford's gonna go in there to not gonna go in there to fucking. So I mean, I have it going Crawford, bro, to be honest.
Despite the widespread belief that size will play the biggest role in determining the fight's outcome, there is a growing number of voices supporting Crawford's ability to overcome the physical disadvantages. One of his most vocal supporters is legendary trainer and analyst Teddy Atlas, who argues that technical skill is far more important than size. He praises Crawford's boxing IQ, composure under pressure, and ability to adapt during fights. For Atlas, the outcome of the fight will ultimately be determined by execution and mental toughness rather than sheer physicality. He believes that Crawford's ability to make in-fight adjustments and neutralize opponents' strengths gives him a legitimate chance to defeat Canelo.
I look at Crawford as one of those special guys. I don't care if you guys are tired of me saying it. I look at him, look, Canelo's special too. I get it. And he's bigger. I get that too. And everyone's going to say, well, after Madrimov fight again, had a couple hiccups. Now he's stepping up another weight class. Now he's got to fight Canelo, who's even bigger, stronger, better puncher, a unified champion that he's been, all of that stuff. He's not going to be able to handle it.
Shakur Stevenson is another fighter who expresses confidence in Crawford's ability to handle the challenge. While he acknowledges the size and power disadvantages, he firmly believes that Crawford's boxing intelligence and adaptability will play a crucial role in leveling the playing field. Stevenson respects Canelo's skill set, but he believes that if anyone can figure out a way to beat him, it's Crawford. Given Crawford's ability to study opponents and execute complex game plans, Stevenson sees him as a fighter who could find the right approach to nullify Canelo's strengths.
I think it's very difficult. Canelo got the IQ, he got the size, he got the power, maybe. It's a very difficult fight, but I think if anybody could get it done, it's Terence Crawford.
Frank Warren takes a different perspective on the fight. Rather than focusing on the technical aspects, he views it as a massive business opportunity. According to Warren, with the right marketing and promotion, this fight could become one of the biggest events in modern boxing history. He believes that a matchup between two of the sport's best fighters, each with strong fan bases, has the potential to generate huge mainstream interest. In his eyes, this fight isn't just about boxing, it's about creating a spectacle that captures the attention of both hardcore and casual fans.
Our story from the ring, which of course is owned by Turki Al-Sheikh, states that on September 13th, they are going to in fact do Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford. Are you surprised that they got this over the line, that it appears to be a done deal for Las Vegas's Allegiant Stadium?
Look, if it's done, I mean, as a boxing fan, I can't wait to see that fight. It's a fabulous fight. If anyone can get it done, His Excellency's the man, and he's been a massive fan of both those guys, and I know when we sat down, or when we sit down and talk about up and coming shows, that's one he's always said he'd love to see, and I'm pretty positive that it will happen, and fingers crossed they get that over the line, because what a fight that'll be between those two, and a great fight for American boxing.
Yes.
It's a real great fight. I mean, you need great fights.
If Crawford wins, it could be the perfect way to walk away from the sport on top. At 37 years old, he's accomplished nearly everything there is to achieve in boxing. While he hasn't shown any signs of slowing down, there's only so much time left at the highest level. McIntyre has hinted that if Crawford pulls this off, retirement might be a real possibility. So what are your thoughts about this fight? Do let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.